Right now at 5, a man is arrested in relation to a shooting that happened on 20th Street in Joplin on Tuesday. And we've got a very mild start for us across the area ahead of some incoming storm chances. We'll take a look at that in your forecast. And now that marijuana is legal in the Show Me state, suppliers are running into a problem. Demand is higher than they expected.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5 a.m. I'm Chris Warner, so it is a very mild morning for us out there, but we've got some big changes on the way in our forecast. Let's take a look. We've got a lot to go through. We're going to dive head first into this. We've got wind advisory, southeast Kansas until 11 this morning in this Brown and northeast Oklahoma. Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee County, southwest Missouri, wind advisory through 7. On top of that, we have what the system calls a fire weather warning, but we more commonly know as a red flag warning for a good portion of southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma through 9 tonight. Why? Well, it's going to get extraordinarily windy. We could still see a few isolated strong storms as we head into this evening and into the overnight hours, especially in the dark green area here. And even though we still have this elevated risk highlighted for parts of southwest Missouri, it looks more likely that the biggest severe threat should stay to our east, but we could see an isolated strong storm or two as we head into tomorrow morning and then possibly again by tomorrow early afternoon. As for today, here's what we're looking at. Tornado risk is very low, and any stronger storms we see later this evening and into the overnight, we're looking at maybe some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds. So we, of course, will keep an eye on that for you. But take a look at the precipitation chances. As you can see, they don't really exceed 40%. Except for early tomorrow morning. So that's why the overall risk is low, and any storms we see should be widely scattered across the area. So let's take a look at what that looks like on the future track. So we head into later this evening. We have the increasing clouds today. Then we'll see our first round of thunderstorms, and again, a couple of strong storms possible. That rolls out of here pretty quickly. Should be confined along and south of I-44. Then tomorrow morning, say around 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll see more numerous scattered showers out there and a few thunderstorms. A couple of those could be on the strong side. By about 10 a.m. they're gone, and then once again by about 1 o'clock could potentially see some redevelopment, and if we do, a couple of those storms may be on the strong side as well. But we're not anticipating any significant severe weather. That is expected well to our east. What we are expecting through today is our wind gusts will increase substantially, hence the wind advisories and red flag warnings as we see those gusts pushing 40, 50 miles an hour through today and into tomorrow evening. They actually won't really let up until we get into about Saturday afternoon, so be prepared for some very breezy conditions over the next couple of days. 55 in Joplin, cloudy skies, south-southeast breeze at 8. Temperatures across the area look about like this: 51 Iola, 54 Parsons, Miami, Neosho, and Carthage. As we get our day started, we're looking to be quite mild into the lower 60s by late morning, partly cloudy skies, breezy, some isolated showers possible through the afternoon, looking at highs in the mid to upper 60s. And as we head into this evening, another mild evening, a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder out there, and an overnight low of 57. Sheriff's Office say a wanted fugitive was hiding out in a rural Baxter Springs home. In May of last year, 46-year-old James Thompson pled guilty in Cherokee County District Court to felony criminal threat. Thompson was ordered to turn himself in to serve a 16-month sentence, but he didn't show. Authorities found him and arrested him on the news of aggravated escape from custody. Police have arrested a suspect in Tuesday's shooting in Joplin. Wednesday's arrest is for the shooting in the 1800 block of West 20th Street that put one man in the hospital Tuesday morning. At last report, the victim was in stable condition with a gunshot wound to the thigh. Now the JPD says they've arrested one man in that case. Suspect is in the city jail, but authorities have not yet filed formal charges. A crash in St. Louis leaves 5 police officers and a child hurt. 3 Lake St. Louis police officers and 2 St. Charles County police officers were blocking traffic on Interstate 70 when a passing Jeep hit them. Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper says a 2-year-old was inside the Jeep. The child and the 5 officers who were hurt were taken to the hospital. 3 of the officers' injuries are serious. The other 2 are minor. No word yet on the child's condition. Freeman Health System's Ozark Center hosted a discussion on the importance of staying connected while rehabbing from a drug addiction. Center hosts a monthly series focusing on family, friends, and loved ones impacted by substance abuse. Wednesday's meeting was called Getting and Staying Connected. It aims to help people in recovery have the support and communication they need from their loved ones.
It's not about just quitting using, it is about changing behavior and learning that there's a whole lot that goes into it. You know, changing behaviors, changing patterns, avoiding situations, and just thinking about there is so much that recovery isn't just about stopping using.
The meeting was held at Central Christian Center in Joplin. So Missouri marijuana dispensaries are experiencing a shortage in products. Demand is higher after the legalization of recreational marijuana. KOAM's Yana Hatala has the details.
Missouri dispensaries are seeing a shortage in marijuana supply since recreational use started in February. Green Relief Dispensary in Nevada prepared for the demand by increasing staff, equipment, and products.
I think that we're going to be in pretty good shape, but I don't discredit the fact that there is a limited product availability right now. Because we're dealing with an agricultural product, it's a little bit different. It's we have to be patient.
Hackett says since dispensaries are dealing with plants, certain strains and quantities are not available at all times.
Each week I know that, we want to stock up as much as we can, but we're limited by, what becomes available that week. So anything we can get, when our vendors, call us and they have product available, we try to take as much as we can.
A local consumer has experienced shortage in certain categories.
Actual nugs instead of like getting a vaporizer or like dabs. Flower is more wanted by people rather than vaporizers.
Hackett says they allocate specific registers for medical patients.
From, the medical standpoint, there's a lot of different, patients out there that are looking for different strains that help them in different ways. So we try to keep the widest selection available.
In Nevada, Yana Haudala, KOAM News.
Hackett thinks that in the next few months or even weeks, some suppliers should have more product coming out, leveling demand and supply. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, MSSU looks to gain another win on the diamond as they take on Southwestern Oklahoma State. Plus, a man completes 50 marathons in all 50 states. This makes us want to know, where in the U.S. do you want to travel? And a new study reveals that having a pet in the house could reduce chances of your child having a food allergy. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Well, the Missouri Southern Lions have been one of the best baseball teams in the country so far this season. The Lions are 24-7 overall and tied for first place in the MIAA with a 14-3 league record. Yesterday, Southern has cracked the top 5 in the nation, sitting at number 4 in the latest NCBWA poll. The Lions on the field yesterday evening facing Southwestern Oklahoma State in a non-conference matchup. Southern was down 9-2 going into the fourth, but then bats get going. In the fourth, Garrett Rice sends a shot over the left, or the fence in the left. 3-run jack there for Rice, and the game gets interesting. Lions only down 9-6 to the 5th inning. Matt Miller with a no-doubter takes a good look at it. The solo home run makes it 9-7. Southern creeping back into this thing. Still in the 5th, Lions down 9-7 until Webb City's own Tregan Parker turns on this one. He hits it over the scoreboard. Ball is long gone. 2-run homer ties the game, but Parker not done there to the 6th inning. Lions leading now 10-9. Parker gets one up and in the wind, and it gets out of there. Tregan Parker, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. The Lions erase a 7-run deficit and come back to win 16-11. Pittsburgh State Gorillas 1 game back of first place coming into the day. Also in action, facing Missouri S&T. Early defense here. Hunter Lau starts the double play. Jay Stewart turns it. Gorillas clear the bases. Bottom half down by 1. Dagan Brady knocks one into center. Joe Hamilton comes in to score. This one tied after 1. In the 7th, Gorillas down by 4 runs, but they start to get back in it. Nixon Brandon sends one bouncing up the middle. It's Hamilton crossing the plate again. It's now 7-4. Back down 9-4 in the 8th. Hamilton comes through with the bases loaded. Liner to center scores Carson Coffey and Cade Clemens. Pitt State gets within 2 going into the 9th. But the Miners get 4 more in the 9th, and that was it. Gorillas drop this one 13-7.
Lackadaisical baseball. You know, we didn't show up to do the right thing. Give credit to Missouri Raw. They played really well today, but our guys think people owe them something, and if you want something, you got to earn it. We're not earning it right now. It's up to them, you know. I mean, they got to figure it as a team. You know, we'll have a quick talk here in a minute, but it's up to them to go play the right way. I got no problem with losing. I got a problem how we're losing, so it's up to us to do the little things.
Well, today is opening day for Major League Baseball. Both the Royals and Cardinals will be in action this afternoon, both playing at home in their first games of the season. Cardinals have an interleague series to start their schedule against the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 1 will be at 3:10 this afternoon. Miles McCullough will be on the mound for the Cardinals. Also at 3:10 today, the Royals open their season against the Twins. It's Game 1 of a 3-game series between the AL Center rivals. Zach Greinke gets the start for Kansas City. At 39 years old, he will be the oldest opening day starter in franchise history for the Royals. Well, still to come, a T-Rex skeleton is set to hit the auction block in Switzerland. We're going to take a look at our rain chances and those windy conditions when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. A lot to cover in the weather department. Wind advisory, southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma through 11 o'clock this morning. Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee County, southwest Missouri. These wind advisories run until 7 this evening. And then we also have red flag warnings for a good chunk of southeast Kansas and parts of northeast Oklahoma through 9 o'clock tonight because we're looking at wind gusts pushing 40, 50 miles an hour. We'll talk about that in a moment. Still have our low end chance for a couple of strong storms later this evening and into the overnight hours in this dark green area. Tomorrow, we still have this elevated risk highlighted in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas, but at this point, we're not anticipating any major severe weather as we head into tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. We could see a couple of strong storms, but we're not anticipating any significant severe weather. That's expected to remain to our east. So any storms we see later tonight, we could see maybe some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds out there. So again, nothing significant. And the other part of this is any storms we see are expected to be fairly widely scattered. So you can see where the rain chances pick up a little this evening, and then they'll kind of taper back a wee bit before they start to pick up again as we head into tomorrow morning. So here's what that looks like on the future track. We could have a few stray showers this afternoon across the area. Nothing significant there. Cloudy skies. There's that first batch of thunderstorms, which at this point is looking to remain along and south of I-44 this evening. And then as we head into tomorrow morning, we'll see a few more of these thunderstorms begin to develop across the area. That's where we could see, again, another couple of strong storms possible. And then we could potentially see some redevelopment early tomorrow afternoon, which could have a strong storm or two. But again, overall, our severe risk is relatively low at this point. But we will see these wind gusts start pushing that 30 to 40 mile an hour range later today. And then they'll even get into that 40 to 50 mile an hour range as we head into the afternoon and into tomorrow. And they won't really let up until Saturday afternoon. 55 in Joplin, quite mild out there. Wind is calm for now, south-southeast at 8. 54 Chanute, Parsons, Neodesha, Miami, Neosho, Carthage, 51 in Lamar, and 50 in Pittsburgh. And as we get our morning started, we'll see those winds start to pick up and temperatures warm nicely. Partly cloudy skies, lower 60s by late morning. We're looking mid to upper 60s later today for our highs. Mostly cloudy skies. Again, a stray shower or two possible, quite breezy. Breezy into tonight, 57 for the low. And again, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two out there. As we head into the weekend, we cool down just a little bit and then warm right back up on Sunday, back into the lower 70s, pushing near 80 Monday and Tuesday with some thunderstorm chances. And we're keeping an eye on Tuesday's storm chances as we've got another opportunity for some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms next week. Well, it's a finish line not many have crossed. A Pennsylvania man just finished running 50 marathons in 50 states, accomplishing a goal he set more than a decade ago. Jamie Apodi has the story.
Keith Tyndall loves to run.
Every day the alarm goes off early, you get up, you go out no matter what it's like, you run for a couple hours.
And this past January, the 54-year-old Harleysville resident reached a goal he set out to accomplish more than a decade ago, 50 marathons in all 50 states.
Well, each medal took about 4 hours or a little less, but overall it was 15 years to earn the whole thing, so yeah, big deal.
It's a journey that has taken him quite literally across the country. And just as each medal is different, so too is each experience, crossing finish lines as the sun shines and as the leaves turn, from the mountains of Montana to the deserts of Arizona and across the Alaskan seas.
Yeah, that's actually been the neatest part about it is just getting to see this country, all the states, and a lot of them I'd never been to. But yeah, there's flat ones, there's hilly ones, there's high altitude, low altitude. I mean, there's a lot of different challenges.
And 2 months ago, he finished the Maui Oceanfront Marathon in Hawaii with his daughter by his side, state number 50. What was the feeling like when you crossed the finish line in Maui, knowing you completed your goal?
Emotional. Just thinking about it now, it's kind of hard not to get choked up. But yeah, when you put that much work into something for 15 years and your whole family's there, and just to think that I can't believe I did it,
As for his next challenge, this summer, Keith plans on running clear across the state of Pennsylvania, from Lake Erie to Penn's Landing, to raise funds and awareness for Destiny Rescue, a children's charity. How long is that going to take you?
I think I can do it in 30 days.
And how far is it?
460 miles.
And how do you train for something like that?
Just run a lot.
Well, he's got that part down for sure.
Which brings us to our question for you this morning. What part of the U.S. do you want to see? Is it the New England area, Mid-Atlantic, the Midwest, the South, mountainous areas, the Pacific area? We want to hear from you. Make sure you take time to vote through our website at koamnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in our app and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. And we will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a pet in the home could lower the chance of a child developing a food allergy. And that's according to a new study published Wednesday in the journal PLOS One. Researchers analyzed data from over 65,000 children in Japan. They found that babies exposed to cats or indoor dogs have about a 16% lower chance of developing food allergies compared with babies in pet-free homes. One of the study authors says the findings suggest that exposure to dogs and cats might be beneficial against the development of certain food allergies. Kids living with cats were less likely to develop egg, wheat, and soybean allergies, while dog owners were less likely to have egg, milk, and nut allergies. Experts say pet exposure may strengthen an infant's gut microbiome. Well, having a plant-based diet might help you live longer. A new study finds meals full of fruit, veggies, and whole grains reduces the risk of an early death. Eating many of the healthy foods was connected to a decrease in overall disease rate. Researchers from Ireland say they saw a 16% reduction in strokes in people who ate the meals. That's compared to those who had a higher intake of meat, junk food, and sugary drinks. Cancer rates also dropped by 7% for plant-based eaters. Well, a new study finds walnuts could help lower the risk of cardiovascular disease. Researchers from Pennsylvania found both gut and heart health benefits eating the nut. Participants with a walnut diet showed higher levels of bacteria for good gut health and acids that improve heart health in people. However, the researchers say more work needs to be done to support the study. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got wind advisories, red flag warnings, a very breezy day, and thunderstorms on the way. We'll take a look at all that when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, we meet a 3-year-old boy chosen to go to Japan. However, there's a slight hiccup, and the Alliance of Southwest Missouri is asking for your help to get him there.
We've got calm conditions to start us for now, but we got gusty winds, some showers, maybe some thunderstorms on the way. We'll talk about all of that coming up.
And organizations and businesses gather in Nevada to show off the services they can provide for veterans.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So a very mild start for us across the area today. However, that mild start is ahead of some big changes in terms of our weather. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to go straight into it. Southeast Kansas, Northeast Oklahoma, wind advisories through 11 o'clock this morning. Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties in Southeast Kansas, Southwest Missouri. These run until 7. On top of that, we've got red flag warnings for parts of Southeast Kansas, Northeast Oklahoma through 9 o'clock tonight because we're looking at wind gusts pushing 40, 50 miles an hour as we go through the next couple of days. Still have that low-end chance of a strong storm or two later this evening and into the overnight areas in the dark green hair. And even though there's still that elevated risk highlighted in Southwest Missouri, Northwest Arkansas, we're not really anticipating much in terms of severe weather on our side. The worst of it should stay to our east, but we could still see a strong storm or two come tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. As for today, our overall threats, tornado risk is extraordinarily low. We have a low-end hail and wind risk, and we're talking maybe some small hail, maybe some gusty winds, but nothing significant at this point. And you can see, too, any storms we get are going to be widely scattered. Our rain chances do not increase significantly, right around that 40% mark by 7, a little bit of a drop-off, and they pick up again as we head into tomorrow morning. So what does that look like on the future track? It looks about like this. As we go into the afternoon, could see a scattered shower or two. Here's that batch of thunderstorms. Right now, still expected this evening to remain along and south of I-44. And then we get into the overnight and into tomorrow morning, we'll see a few more showers and thunderstorms begin to develop, say around 4 or 5 o'clock, and we could see a couple of strong storms with that. That's out of here by about 10:30. Then we'll get a pause before we could potentially see a couple of storms redevelop early in the afternoon. Again, a couple of those could be strong, but we're not really anticipating significant severe weather in our area with this system. That should stay to our east. What we do have to contend with is wind gusts. They're going to pick up 30, 40 miles an hour as we head into the late morning, early afternoon. Then they'll be in that 40 to 50 mile an hour range, and they won't settle back down until we get into Saturday afternoon. We're 55 in Joplin right now. Wind is calm at the moment, but again, it'll start to pick up. 54 Chanute, Parsons, Chetopa, Miami, Neosho, 55 in Carthage, and 50 in Pittsburgh. So we get our day started, partly cloudy. Winds start picking up about 9 o'clock into the lower 60s by late morning. And then as we head into the afternoon, highs pushing mid to upper 60s. Some gusty winds, mostly cloudy skies, and again, an isolated shower or two. A few more showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms this evening. And we drop back down to a mild 57 for our overnight low. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, exciting news. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri has pledged its support for a young Joplin family as they prepare to embark on a journey to Japan for the Strider World Cup race. KOAM Shagun Bamadele joins us in studio this morning with more. Good morning, Shagun.
Good morning, Tanya. 3-year-old Silas McCain has been selected as one of the 10 representatives for Team USA in his age category. However, with only 2 months remaining until the big event, the family must raise $7,500 to cover travel and lodging expenses.
The Alliance has agreed to match up to $500 to help Silas get to Osaka, Japan. So we're very excited for him to be able to compete on that international level and represent Team USA. And we're just so excited that we get to kind of put Full Potential's name on that, to get the name out there and let people know about this program that really does exist to help families.
The organization is calling on the community to make donations through the family's GoFundMe account and help Silas achieve his full potential. If you want to donate, you can find Silas's GoFundMe account on our website at komnews.com.
All right, well, thank you, Shagun. What is Silas most excited to see when he gets to Japan?
I think, from my opinion, I think he's excited to be in the race, show its skills. At 3 years old, I saw the boy's skills and it was exceptional.
I couldn't even think about riding a bike with 2 wheels when I was 3, that's for sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Shagun. The city of Goodman, Missouri wants to make some energy changes at its wastewater plant. The mayor and employees of the plant want to change its energy source to solar panels. Mayor J.R. Fisher says the overall price for the panel project is $179,000. He says it will save the city more than $700,000 over its lifetime, which could go towards whatever the city needs done.
We could, it's just planning for the future. We do it like this, save some money, and we could always grow out there. If we need to grow, there's plenty of room to grow, to add more panels or whatever the case may be. there's plenty of room to do that.
Fisher says they have $240,000 in American Rescue Plan Act funds for infrastructure to pay for the panels. Organizations and businesses gather in Nevada, Missouri on Wednesday for the Vietnam Veterans Fair. The fair is a chance for the organizations to share the services they provide to veterans, and the fair has been put together multiple times.
We partnered with the VFW Auxiliary 3 separate times, 2009, 2016, and then again this year, to provide a benefits fair to show the veterans what some of the agencies can provide to them and get them the help and services they need.
All veterans were welcome to the fair. On Wednesday, the Knights of Columbus Don Roderick Council 7307 presented a check to Community Services of Missouri. The check was worth more than $800. It'll go towards services the organization offers, such as early childhood and case management.
So money like this helps us further our mission to give our individuals opportunities to integrate in our community, to learn life skills, to make meaningful friendships, and overall increase their overall quality of life.
Community Support Services of Missouri offers many services to people with developmental disabilities. On Wednesday, McDonald County Schools gave its students a lesson on health. The district hosted its spring wellness health fair. The students learned how to make smoothies, practice yoga poses, and browsed a farmer's market for fresh produce. Officials say it's all in an effort to teach kids how to make healthier choices in life.
The kids love this because there's no pressure from anyone. They just get to choose what they want to take home and cook for their families, and cook with their families. So that's kind of cool. Kids like making their own choices, so that's neat.
More than 1,800 students were expected to attend. Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce is celebrating some employees who work remotely. The Chamber and the Joplin Area Remote Workers Committee hosted its Where We Were Working Wednesday event to celebrate and engage remote workers. During the event, guests got to enjoy a free pass to explore the Joseph Newman Innovation Center.
But we also have a different, it's just a different feel. The building is kind of an office feel. It's an old industrial office, and it actually makes you feel like you're out doing something when you're actually working.
Just last month, the Wall Street Journal named the Joplin metro area the second best location for remote workers in the country. Well, this morning we're discussing seeing the U.S.
Keith Tyndall loves to run, and this past January, the 54-year-old Harleysville, Pennsylvania resident reached a goal he set out to accomplish more than a decade ago: 50 marathons in all 50 states.
It's a journey that has taken him quite literally across the country, and just as each medal is different, so too is each experience. Crossing finish lines as the sun shines and as the leaves turn from the mountains of Montana to the desert of Arizona and across the Alaskan seas.
And 2 months ago, he finished the Maui Oceanfront Marathon in Hawaii with his daughter by his side, state number 50. That brings us to our question for you this morning. What parts of the United States would you like to see? Got quite a few options. 40% of you say you'd like to see the New England area. 10% of you would like to visit the South or the Midwest. And 20% of you say that you'd like to see some mountainous areas or the Pacific Northwest. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
It seems right now the answers are pretty split, but a lot of people want to head east.
They do indeed. I wouldn't mind seeing the New England states.
I've been up there a little bit, but not since I was little, and there's a lot up there.
I don't doubt it.
A lot of history too. All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, we meet a boy who went viral, and it's for a really cute reason.
Plus, did you know Da Vinci's paintings have a secret ingredient? We'll tell you what it is if you join us in World Watch.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Web City. Topping World Watch, the head of a UN atomic energy watchdog tours Ukraine's embattled Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Russian state TV showed footage on Wednesday of International Atomic Energy Director Rafael Mariano Grossi on the front lines, while Russian troops have control of Europe's largest nuclear power plant. This is Grossi's second visit to assess safety and security at the facility. He's also been trying to broker a deal between Ukraine and Russia to protect the plant, which has been hit several times during the conflict. The king of dinosaurs is on display in Switzerland ahead of its auction next month. The very rare skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus rex named Trinity is being showcased at a museum in Zurich. Fossilized remains date back more than 67 million years. Paleontologists at the Dinosaur Museum says discoveries of T-Rex fossils are extremely rare. Skeleton's full name, TRX-293, is derived from its 293 different bones that came from 3 different animals. More than 50% of Trinity's original bones come from 3 T-Rex specimens excavated between 2008 and 2023 in both Montana and Wyoming. The fossil is expected to fetch between $5 and $9 million when it goes on sale in Zurich in April. Could Mastodon be on the menu the next time you go out to eat? The Australian startup company Vow has created what they are calling a, quote, real deal meatball made from lab-grown cultured meat from the genetic sequence of the long extinct mastodon. Cultivated meat is made from animal cells and does not include killing live animals. The company uses publicly available genetic information from the woolly mammoth spliced with the genetic data from the African elephant, its closest living relative, to fill out missing parts. They added it all together into a sheep cell. The cells multiplied until it formed enough meat to roll up into a meatball. Strange? Well, the company's founder says he hopes it gets people talking. Too pretty to eat. Top chocolatiers in Belgium exhibit their elaborate Easter egg creations at a hotel just in time for the holiday. The intricately decorated eggs, which stand about 2 feet tall, are all edible, but not for sale. They range in design from a jewel-encrusted Faberge-style egg to an Easter Island Moai statue, some taking weeks to complete by hand. Leonardo da Vinci's paintings may have had a secret ingredient. According to a new study, old masters like Da Vinci, Sandro Botticelli, and Rembrandt may have used egg yolk in their oil paintings. Trace quantities of protein have been detected in the classic paintings. While it was originally believed to have been from contamination, researchers now say it was intentional. They say adding egg yolk could tune the properties of the oil paint in drastic ways, such as showing age and brush strokes differently. It would also make the paint more resistant to humidity. Let's look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to KOAM Morning News. 546. We got a lot of weather to talk about. We've got wind advisory, southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma through 11 o'clock this morning, and then Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, and all of southwest Missouri until 7 this evening. Then on top of that, we have red flag warnings for a good chunk of southeast Kansas and into northeast Oklahoma through 9 o'clock this evening. So no outdoor burning. It is going to be extraordinarily breezy. Still watching the possibility of a couple of strong storms later this evening and into the overnight hours in this dark green area. And as we've mentioned, although there is this elevated risk still highlighted in southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas, we're not anticipating any significant or widespread severe weather. A couple of strong storms are possible, but we're not anticipating anything significant at this point. In terms of what we could see for today, our overall tornado risk is very low. We're looking at the possibility of maybe some small hail and some gusty winds with any of the stronger storms we see later tonight. And on top of that, those storms are going to be widely scattered. You can see where our chances pick up a little bit later this evening, around 7 or so. They drop back a little, and then they'll pick up again as we head into tomorrow morning. We see another chance of some showers and thunderstorms. We go into the afternoon, an isolated shower or two possible across the area. Most of the thunderstorm activity this evening, at least right now, is expected to remain along and south of I-44. Then as we head into tomorrow morning, say 4 or 5 o'clock, see a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. Could see a couple of strong storms as we go through the morning. Those get out of here by 10, and then later in the afternoon, there is the remote possibility of a couple of storms redeveloping, mainly on the Missouri side. And if they do, couple of those could be strong as well. But again, no widespread severe weather anticipated at this point. Big thing we're looking at is winds. As we go through the morning and afternoon, they pick up that 30 to 40 mile an hour range. As we head through the evening and into tomorrow, they're going to be in that 40, 50 mile an hour range, and they will remain that way until we get into Saturday afternoon when they'll finally start to calm down. They're calm for now, south-southeast at 8. It's 55 in Joplin, so a very mild start for us. We're looking at temperatures still quite mild. Fort Scott a little cooler, 46, 51 in Iola, 54 Parsons, Chetopa, Miami, Neosho, 55 in Carthage, and 51 in Lamar. As we get our day started, we'll be partly cloudy. Winds start picking up around 8, 9 o'clock, and then we're into the lower 60s by late morning. And we're looking at highs today in the mid to upper 60s across the area. Breezy, again, isolated shower or two possible this afternoon. And we'll see those chances kind of pick up as we head into this evening and into the overnight hours. And we'll drop back down to 57 as we remain breezy. We head into tomorrow, still watching those thunderstorm chances. Much warmer, 75. A little cooler Saturday, 57. Then back into the lower 70s by Sunday. More storm chances Monday and Tuesday and near 80 degrees. We're also watching the possibility of a couple of strong storms on Tuesday. We'll keep an eye on that for you. And then maybe a few more morning storms Wednesday, temperatures near 70. We'll be back with more right after this. But first, here's a live look from Webb City.
A young boy in Franklin, Massachusetts sewed a shirt for his dad, and the video of him handing the shirt to his father has millions of views on social media. Christina Rex reports on why it's getting so much attention.
Painted red nails and care put into every stitch. Small details that make Sam Gavea and his love for sewing contagious.
Because when I get to see something that I made, it feels like I accomplished something, which that feeling I really like.
He's only 9 years old, but his pure spirit has captured millions of hearts online.
What you got?
I got a shirt that I made at sewing class.
This TikTok posted Sunday now has over 12 million views. It shows Sam bringing home the shirt he spent 6 sewing classes hand-making for his dad.
Well, like he said in the video, he said, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, he said, holy crap.
For me?
The look of joy on this 4th grader's face, a long way from his first experience with bullying in kindergarten.
Why are you wearing nail polish? Why do you sew? That's weird. That's for girls.
He came home and he was crushed, and frankly, we were crushed too.
And so began the journey to self-love and acceptance, from parents to their son.
He taught me that anyone can do anything. Either it's their skin color, gender.
By his 9th birthday, Sam's confidence broke through the small screens of our phones.
It's a sewing machine! Wait, what kind? It's a sticker!
Finally getting his own sewing machine.
Oh, yeah.
Fabric sent to him from fans around the world.
I don't know. I want to make like a flowing skirt kind of thing.
As the only boy in his sewing class, he's making his parents proud.
Sometimes as parents, you don't get the validation. You get to see them struggle and not succeed, which only breaks your heart. And when you do see them succeed, you just want to capture it and bottle it.
I think in the end, it's just the human aspect of it. It's seeing somebody do something they love, especially a kid at a young age, and doing it without shame. That's pretty amazing.
We could all benefit from Sam's advice.
You can do anything if you be yourself.
Well, Sam did a great job on that shirt for his dad, too. Sam has some positive advice for everyone. You can do anything if you be yourself. Great advice. We'll be right back. NASA is studying one of the most powerful classes of explosions in the universe. This particular one is being called the BOAT, the brightest of all time. I like that. Tuesday, the space agency announced it clocked a gamma ray burst back in October of last year. It was unlike any other. Scientists say the pulse of intense radiation was so exceptional that it blinded most of the gamma ray instruments in space. They believe a gamma ray blast like this one is so rare, it only happens once in every 10,000 years. Triggered numerous detectors on spacecraft and observatories around the globe, on the International Space Station, and even Voyager 1 in interstellar space. Astronomers believe gamma ray bursts come from the formation of black holes. NASA's James Webb and Hubble Space Telescopes searched for the supernova that usually follows long bursts, but they believe the entire star was swallowed up by the black hole instead of exploding. Interesting. Well, some of us can relate to the Colorado checkered whiptail lizard. A new study suggests the female lizard tends to eat when stressed. The study says the lizards in southeastern Colorado are subjected to a lot of noise from U.S. Army flyovers. The loud noises cause her to stress eat. Now, how did scientists come to that conclusion? Well, in 2021, they observed dozens of lizards during the flyovers. They caught them and collected blood samples from 82 females. They found elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol in the blood samples. They also found increased production of ketones, energy-burning compounds associated with heightened stress. Researchers determined female lizard becomes highly interested in food during flyovers.
We've got ourselves a windy day. We've got wind gusts 40, 50 miles an hour, and they'll start picking up later this morning. Temperatures into the lower 60s by late morning, partly cloudy skies. Clouds will increase this afternoon. Could see an isolated shower or two across the area this afternoon. Otherwise, again, mostly cloudy, breezy. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Tonight, still breezy, lows back down to the upper 50s, and we could see a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two. Could see a couple strong storms overnight and into tomorrow we're keeping an eye on. Otherwise, a few showers, 75, a little cooler Saturday, warmer on Sunday. Then we're near 80 Monday and Tuesday with more thunderstorm chances. Watching the possibility of a strong storm or two on Tuesday. More showers through the week and a little bit cooler as we drop back into the 50s. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, some marijuana dispensaries in Missouri find they do not have the products to meet the high demand since the legalization of recreational marijuana.
We've got ourselves a calm and mild start so far, but we're looking at increasing shower and storm chances, and the winds are really going to pick up. Taking a look at all of that coming up.
And one Joplin clinic wants to make sure individuals wrestling with addiction stay connected to support from their loved ones.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's a mild start for us across the area today, and it's calm for now. But as the morning progresses, that is going to begin to change. That's why we do have wind advisories for southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma through 11 o'clock this morning, and then for Bourbon, Crawford, and Cherokee counties, and then the rest of southwest Missouri through 7 this evening. On top of that, we have these red flag warnings that run until 9 for parts of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma. So it is going to be extremely windy today. Still watching the possibility of a few strong storms later today into the evening hours and overnight across parts of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma. We're not anticipating widespread severe weather, but a couple of strong storms possible. Same for tomorrow. Now, again, we've mentioned the elevated risk still highlighted out there, but I believe that the majority of the severe weather is going to stay to our east, but again, a couple of strong storms are possible. As for today, if we see any stronger storms later tonight, we're looking at the possibility of maybe some small hail, perhaps some gusty winds out there, and any storms we see are going to be widely scattered. You can see as we head through this evening, the rain chances pick up a bit, and then we'll see more of them as we head into tomorrow morning. So let's skip ahead real quick to our current conditions. We've got the winds today. They're going to start gusting 40, 50 miles an hour. 54 in Joplin right now. Wind is calm for the moment, but it will pick up as time goes on. 52 in Pittsburgh, 53 Chetopa, 54 Miami, and 53 Neosho Carthage. As we get our day started, partly cloudy skies, winds increasing, lower 60s by late morning. We head into this afternoon, an isolated shower or two possible, otherwise mostly cloudy, breezy, highs in the mid to upper 60s. And then tonight, winds continue down to 57 for our low, and we'll start to see a few more showers and maybe some thunderstorms out there. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office says a wanted fugitive was hiding out in a rural Baxter Springs home. In May of last year, 46-year-old James Thompson pled guilty in Cherokee County District Court to felony criminal threat. Thompson was ordered to turn himself in to serve a 16-month sentence, but he did not show. Authorities yesterday found him and arrested him on the new charge of aggravated escape from custody. Police have arrested a suspect in Tuesday's shooting in Joplin. Wednesday's arrest is for the shooting on the 1800 block of West 20th Street that put one man in the hospital yesterday morning. At last report, the victim was in stable condition with a gunshot to the thigh. Now the JPD says they've arrested one man in that case. Suspect is in the city jail, but authorities have not yet filed formal charges. Well, some marijuana dispensaries in Missouri are experiencing a shortage in products since demand has been higher after the legalization of recreational marijuana. Green Relief Dispensary in Nevada, Missouri has experienced more demand with products since legalization of recreational marijuana in February. The dispensary's chief operating officer says the team anticipated the amount of customers rising and prepared by adding equipment, staff, and product in stores. Currently, the company is stocking up the most they can each week to avoid missing the needed products.
We've planned accordingly, and I think that we're going to be in pretty good shape. But I don't discredit the fact that there is a limited product availability right now. Because we're dealing with an agricultural product, it's a little bit different. It's we have to be patient.
Hackett believes in the next few months or even weeks, some suppliers should have more product coming out, stabilizing demand and supply. Freeman Health System's Ozark Center hosted a discussion on the importance of staying connected while rehabbing from a drug addiction. The center hosts a monthly series focusing on family, friends, and loved ones impacted by substance abuse. Wednesday's meeting was called Getting and Staying Connected. It aims to help people in recovery have to support and the communication they need from their loved ones.
My job here at Ozark Center is I'm in peer support, which means I'm a person in long-term recovery myself from substance use issues. And as I look back on my story, it's pretty interesting because I've been in treatment and now I get to help people with treatment.
The meeting was held in the fellowship hall at the Central Christian Church in Joplin. Well, the people of Nashville came together last night at a candlelight vigil to honor the 6 lives lost during the Covenant School shooting. First Lady Jill Biden visited the growing memorial of flowers and stuffed animals outside of the school. It came as city officials and investigators are revealing new information about that day, including how one of the victims may have sprung into action as soon as the shooting began. Jared Hill has the latest.
First Lady Jill Biden laid flowers at a memorial outside the Covenant School, honoring the 6 victims of Monday's tragic mass shooting.
Tears of grief.
And Mrs. Biden attended a vigil as the city came together to mourn and try to heal.
I so wish we did not need to be here, but we need to be here, together.
We're learning more about what happened that day. A city official says head of school Catherine Kuntz may have confronted the shooter, who's believed to have entered the building while Kuntz was on a Zoom meeting.
The witness told me that Catherine Kuntz heard the shots, ended the Zoom call immediately, and abruptly left that meeting and left her office.
Police also revealed more information about the suspect, who was shot and killed by 2 responding officers.
The suspect was in an upper level. We believe there's been some training of being able to shoot from a higher level.
Monday's tragic school shooting has reignited the debate over what can or should Congress do about gun control.
How many children must be killed until we do the right thing?
Ultimately, I think what this does is highlight some of the mental health issues, the mental health crisis we have in this country.
Passions spilled over into the halls of Capitol Hill.
Children are dying! 9-year-old children!
President Biden has called on Congress to reinstate the ban on assault weapons, although that's not likely in a divided Congress. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Nashville police are still trying to determine a motive for Monday's shooting, though they have said they believe the suspect had other planned targets in the city, including a local mall. The police chief said authorities were not aware Hale was under doctor's care for an emotional disorder, and that Hale had obtained 7 guns legally at 5 local stores, 3 of which were used in the attack. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, an over-the-counter weapon in the fight against overdose deaths.
A life-saving overdose treatment will soon be available over the counter. I'm Michael George with the easy access to Narcan.
Plus, the deaths of 3 young children once again sparked the debate over gun control, but lawmakers find the divide across the aisle too far to reach on the issue. And Chris has another look at your Thursday forecast and looks ahead to what we can expect from the weekend You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning, and we'll be right back. But first, here's another look from Webb City High School. Topping Nation Watch this morning, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen touted Taipei's close relationship with Washington in a speech she delivered to members of the Taiwanese American community in New York on Wednesday. She made the remarks during a banquet where she said that ties had, quote, never been closer. That's as it was seen on CNN's Taiwan affiliate Set TV. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy was in attendance and posted on Twitter that he was, quote, honored to deliver remarks at a welcome gala for the leader. Well, the first black female fire chief in New England is also being honored today in Hartford. Governor Lamont and other state leaders held a pinning ceremony for Chief Shelley Carter. She is the incoming chief of Southbury Training School Fire Department after growing up in Hartford. Carter joined the Hartford Fire Department in 1999. Senate passed a bill Wednesday that would end the national COVID-19 emergency declared by then-President Donald Trump on March 13, 2020. The vote was overwhelmingly bipartisan, with Republicans leading the way 68-73. And now the bill heads to President Joe Biden's desk for his signature. The vote comes on the heels of two other successful efforts led by Republicans in approving legislation rescinding Biden administration policies. A White House official says while the president strongly opposes the bill, President Biden will sign it, and the administration will continue to work with agencies to wind down the national emergency. Well, the shooting at a Nashville elementary school has shocked and horrified the nation. But even after the death of 3 young children, Congress shows little appetite for breaking the impasse over gun control. Nicole D'Antonio has the report.
Outrage over the Nashville school shooting has reignited the debate over gun control, a pattern that repeats with each new atrocity.
How much blood must be spilt? How many children must be killed until we do the right thing?
But angry words have not led to action in Congress. Tennessee Republicans shifted the conversation away from guns altogether.
What this does is highlight some of the mental health issues, the mental health crisis we have in this country.
The tragedy that happened in my state was the result of a depraved person, somebody very, very sick.
In the face of Republican opposition to any measure restricting access to guns, House Democrats called for Congress to put people over politics.
There is no excuse to allow our streets to be flooded with weapons of war.
Democrats Ed Markey and Alyssa Slotkin introduced a bill to fund research into the causes of gun violence, alongside school shooting survivors who described their trauma.
My classmates and I frantically grabbed makeshift weapons, including scissors, tape dispensers, and a hockey stick, anything we could find at the moment.
Firearms have become the leading cause of death for children in the U.S., leading President Biden to renew pressure on Congress to ban assault weapons.
So I'm going to keep calling it out, remind people that they're not acting.
Even before the tragedy in Nashville, polls showed most Americans are dissatisfied with the nation's gun laws as they watch more heartbroken parents bury their children. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Nashville school shooting is the 13th so far this year alone. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a calm and quiet start for us this morning, but that is about to change over the next, say, 2 to 3 hours. We're going to take a look at that forecast and those storm chances we're keeping an eye on when the KOAM Morning News returns. But first, here's another live look from Webb City High School. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:17. We got a lot of weather to talk about. Southeast Kansas, Northeast Oklahoma, wind advisories until 11 this morning. And then Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, and Southwest Missouri, These wind advisories run until 7 this evening. Then we've also got red flag warnings for parts of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma through 9 tonight, because we're looking at wind gusts that are going to be way up there. We'll talk about those in a moment. Still looking at the possibility of a couple of strong storms later tonight across parts of southeast Kansas. As we've mentioned, even though this elevated risk is still highlighted in southwest Missouri, we're not really looking at much in the way of severe weather as we head into tomorrow morning and into the afternoon, which is good news. However, we could still see a couple of strong storms as we head into our Friday. Here's our threats for today. Tornado risk very low. We're looking at the possibility of maybe some small hail and possibly some gusty winds across the area, and this will be later tonight as we see a few more thunderstorms begin to develop. Taking a look at the rain chances, that's the other part. Is this going to be widely scattered? You can see rain chances will pick up a little bit, almost to 40% right around this evening. They taper off a bit, and they'll pick up more as we head into tomorrow morning, and here's why. That's where we're going to see more showers and storms possible. We head into this afternoon, a stray shower or two possible. Most of us dry, mostly cloudy, breezy. Thunderstorms right now this evening are expected to remain along and south of I-44, and then as we head into tonight and early tomorrow morning, so about 4 or 5 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see more of these scattered showers and thunderstorms, and this is our first real opportunity to see a strong storm or two. We see a few more of those develop, and then by about 10, 11 o'clock, they are out of here. And then we're watching the possibility, it's a low-end possibility, of some redevelopment by early Friday afternoon. If we do see any additional scattered storms develop, it'd be mainly on the Missouri side. Those could potentially get a little bit strong, but they will quickly move off to the east. Now, in terms of our winds, as we start the morning, they're going to start picking up in that 30 to 40 mile an hour range, and then those gusts are going to breach 40, 50 miles an hour. Could see a few gusts slightly over 50 miles an hour, and that will persist through tonight into Friday night, and it won't be until Saturday afternoon that we start to see these winds begin to calm down. In Joplin, right now, we are at a mild 54 degrees, and the wind, again, for the time being, is calm. Southeast at 9. It's not too bad right now, but that is going to change. We got 46 in Fort Scott, so a little cooler. 50 Iola, 52 in Parsons, 54 Miami, 53 Neosho Carthage, 51 in Lamar, and another cool one up there in Nevada at 49. As we get our day started, we'll see some sunshine out there. We're looking at mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Winds will start picking up around, say, 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, and we're looking at temperatures reaching the lower 60s by late morning, so very pleasant day, just very breezy. Then we switch to those mostly cloudy skies as the afternoon progresses, and again, we've got the shower chances on here. They'll be widely scattered at best, but we could see an isolated shower to this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, breezy, temperatures pushing mid to upper 60s. Then we head into this evening. That's when we'll start to see those shower chances increase, possibly a thunderstorm. We drop back down to another mild evening of about 57 degrees, still breezy as we mentioned heading into tonight. Then we go into tomorrow, 75 for the high, and it'll stay pretty decent for the majority of the day. And then that cold front sweeps through, drops us down to 41. A little cooler Saturday, 57, but Sunday rebounds nicely, lower 70s. Monday and Tuesday pushing near 80 degrees for highs. More thunderstorm chances, and Tuesday we're watching the possibility of another round of strong, maybe severe thunderstorms, so we'll keep an eye on Tuesday for you. Tapering off Wednesday, a few more showers, and we do cool back down into the mid to upper 50s to near 60 by the end of next week. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back after this, but first, here's another live look at Webb City High School.
Topping Health Watch this morning, COVID-19 during pregnancy may increase obesity risk in children. Researchers in Boston studied about 150 infants exposed to COVID in the womb. They found the babies had lower birth weights and then greater weight gain in the first year of life. And those changes have been associated with greater risk for obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease later on. Well, pets may tamp down food allergies in kids. A study in the journal PLOS ONE found that children exposed to cats or dogs in the home before birth or during early infancy tended to have fewer food allergies compared to other children. Those with dogs were significantly less likely to have egg, milk, and nut allergies, while infants living with cats were less likely to be allergic to eggs, wheat, and soybeans. Meta-analysis in the online journal Neurology found that cluster headaches and migraines have strong links to our internal clocks. Cluster headaches tended to peak in the late hours of the night or early morning, and occurred more frequently in spring and fall. And for about half of migraine sufferers, while attacks peaked throughout the day, there was a point during the night when few attacks happened. Calling it a dire public need, the Food and Drug Administration has approved over-the-counter sales of the life-saving overdose treatment Narcan. Unintentional drug overdose is a leading cause of preventable death in the U.S. As Michael George reports, advocates hope this increased access will save lives.
Pharmacy and grocery store shelves will soon stock the overdose treatment drug naloxone. The FDA approved over-the-counter sales under the brand name Narcan, a nasal spray in 4 milligram doses. Given in time, it blocks the brain from the effects of street drugs like heroin and fentanyl, and prescription opioids like oxycodone.
This is a good day for anyone in harm reduction or anyone who knows a person who uses drugs.
Nicole Sage, who's also in recovery, is the director of Prevention Point Philadelphia. She says this increased access removes one more barrier to saving lives.
If it's in the store, in the aisle, right next to ibuprofen, it really also helps to reduce stigma.
All 50 states have naloxone access laws, and most allow pharmacists to dispense to anyone who asks. But not all pharmacies carry it, and customers have to use an insurance copay or pay full retail price. The FDA is encouraging the manufacturer to make Narcan affordable as the country battles an overdose epidemic. CDC data reveals more than 100,000 reported fatal overdoses in the 12-month period ending in October, the majority involving opioids. Previous studies suggest bystanders who carried naloxone helped save lives. It's also fairly simple to administer.
Put the person on their back and you insert this top part into their nostril, and it's like a plunger. So you put your thumb on the red part and then you push in.
The manufacturer expects Narcan will be available over the counter by late summer. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Other naloxone brands and injectable forms will have to file applications with the FDA to make their products available over the counter. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Now we got a very breezy day for us. Wind gusts 40, 50 miles an hour. Those winds will start picking up this morning. We'll make it into the lower 60s by late morning. Partly cloudy skies. Clouds will increase as we head into this afternoon. An isolated shower or two possible as we go through the afternoon. Otherwise, again, cloudy, breezy. Highs pushing mid to upper 60s. This evening, a few more showers, especially as we go into the overnight hours. Maybe a thunderstorm or two. A couple of those could be strong. Down to 57 for our low. Watching the possibility of thunderstorms, and again a couple of strong ones tomorrow. 75. Cooler Saturday, warmer back Sunday, near 80 Monday and Tuesday, with more thunderstorm chances in our forecast. We'll be back with more after this, but first here's another live look at Webb City High School.
Right now at 6:30, a 3-year-old in the Joplin area has a chance to compete for his country in a world-class bicycle race. KOAM's Shagun Bomdale introduces us to Silas McCain and how the community has rallied around this young rider.
We've got ourselves a mild and calm start for now, but we're watching thunderstorm chances and gusty winds later today. Talk about all that coming up.
And a sure sign of spring's arrival, the 66 Drive-In in Jasper County opens with a double feature.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:31. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's quite mild out there for us, and it is calm, at least for now, but in the next couple of hours, that's going to begin to change. We got some wind advisories, both southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma through at least 11 o'clock this morning. As we mentioned, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, and southwest Missouri. These run until 7. Then on top of that, we've got red flag warnings for parts of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma that run through 9 tonight because it is going to be very breezy. We're also still watching the possibility for a couple of strong storms across parts of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma late tonight. And even though the elevated risk is still highlighted, we're not looking at a widespread severe event as we head into tomorrow, but a couple of strong storms are still possible. As for today, well, more so tonight's threats, we're looking at the possibility of maybe some small hail and gusty winds at this point. And these will be scattered storms on top of that. We'll see a brief uptick this evening, and then we'll see better storm chances as we head into tomorrow morning. And so on the future track, again, we could have an isolated shower or two later today, and then as we head into tonight and into early tomorrow morning, say about 4 or 5 o'clock, see a few more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms, and some of those, again, a couple of those could be strong. Wind gusts today start reaching 30, 40 miles an hour this morning, then that goes into the 40 to 50 mile an hour range, and it stays gusty all the way through Saturday afternoon, so be prepared for that. 54 in Joplin, wind is calm for the time being. Across the area, temperatures look about like this: 51 Iola, 52 Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, 53 Miami, and 52 in Neosho. You get your day started about 9 o'clock. Those winds start picking up, lower 60s by late morning under partly cloudy skies. More clouds this afternoon, a couple of isolated showers possible, highs pushing the mid to upper 60s. Tanya?
Well, one very young homegrown talent gets ready to represent Team USA in a world-class bicycle race. KOAM's Shagun Bomadelli joins us in studio this morning to tell us more about his story. Good morning, Shagun.
Good morning, Tanya. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri has pledged to support a young Joplin family as they prepare to embark on a journey to Japan for the Strider World Cup race. However, with only 2 months remaining until the big event, the family must raise a huge amount of money in order to cover travel expenses and travel and lodging expenses.
2, 1, go!
3-year-old Silas McCain started riding a bicycle as early as he could walk.
His dad and I are both cyclists, so after he was born, we kind of introduced him to bikes at a really early age, and he started riding about as soon as he could walk, and he just learned to love it.
Silas is selected as one of 10 representatives for Team USA in his age category. However, with only 2 months remaining until the big event, the family must raise $7,500 to cover travel and lodging expenses.
And so we are trying to raise funds to get him there for like flight and lodging and the registration fee and all of that.
After hearing Silas's story, the Alliance of Southwest Missouri decided to help the McCain family through a program called Full Potential.
The Alliance has agreed to match up to $500 to help Silas get to Osaka, Japan. So we're very excited for him to be able to compete on that international level and represent Team USA. And we're just so excited that we get to kind of put Full Potential's name on that, to get the name out there and let people know about this program that really does exist to help families.
Silas' parents are proud he will represent his family and country.
We're really excited for him. I mean, it's an experience for sure. I feel like it's a life-changing experience, maybe something that won't ever happen for him again. So it's super exciting as a parent just to watch him participate in something like this.
The organization is calling on the community to make donations through the family's GoFundMe account and help Silas achieve his full potential. If you want to donate, you can find Silas's GoFundMe account on our website at KOAMnews.com.
And Shagun, speaking of that GoFundMe account, how much money has the McCain family raised for Silas's trip so far?
Right now, it's only been $905, and we hope to see changes as the day progresses.
Yeah, at least another $7,000 for them would be great.
I hope so.
All right, thanks, Shagun.
Thank you.
On Wednesday, McDonald County Schools gave its students a lesson on health. The district hosted its spring wellness health fair. The students learned how to make smoothies, practice yoga poses, and browsed a farmer's market for fresh produce. Officials say it's all in an effort to teach kids how to make healthier choices in life.
If they take home a better understanding of why it's important to make good, healthy choices, that's what my goal is for them to accomplish today.
More than 1,800 students were expected to attend. On Wednesday, the Knights of Columbus Don Roderick Council 7307 presented a check to Community Support Services of Missouri. The check was worth more than $800. It'll go towards services the organization offers, such as early childhood and case management.
Community Support Services, our goal is to ensure that every member of our community has an opportunity to live a life defined by potential. So we want the individuals that we serve to live a life that is full of meaning, full of independence, and full of meaningful inclusion in community. So money like this helps us further our mission to give our individuals opportunities to integrate in our community.
Community Support Services of Missouri offers many services to help serve people with developmental disabilities. Well, one of the sure signs better weather is on the way is when the drive-in theater opens for business for the 4 states area. The 66 Drive-In Theater kicks off its 2023 season this weekend with a double feature, Shazam 2 and Creed 3. Gates open at 7 p.m. each night. The showtime is at 8:10 p.m. And this will be the 74th year since the 66 Drive-In Theater began. That was back in 1949 on Route 66, just west of Carthage, Missouri. Spent many summer nights there.
Many summer nights.
Yeah, it's excited to see it starting up again.
Oh, yeah.
All right. This morning, we're discussing seeing the United States.
Keith Tyndall loves to run, and this past January, the 54-year-old Harleysville resident reached a goal he set out to accomplish more than a decade ago, 50 marathons in all 50 states.
It's a journey that has taken him quite literally across the country, and just as each medal is different, so too is each experience. Crossing finish lines as the sun shines and as the leaves turn from the mountains of Montana to the desert of Arizona and across the Alaskan seas.
And 2 months ago, he finished the Maui Oceanfront Marathon in Hawaii with his daughter by his side. That made state number 50. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. What part of the United States would you like to see? Got quite a few options so far. Overwhelming majority would like to go see the New England area. 21% of you say the mountain areas, 14% for the Pacific areas. You got 6% for the Midwest, as well as Middle Atlantic and the South. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, our app, take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
And there you go. All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. A celebration of failure.
And we are also keeping an eye on our storm chances and a very windy day ahead of us. We'll take a look at all of that when we come back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz squared off yesterday with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and his committee over allegations of union busting. Sanders cited a recent federal judge ruling that the coffee chain violated multiple labor laws during the unionization of campaign of a Buffalo store back in 2021. Now, since then, nearly 300 stores have also voted to do so. Schultz defended Starbucks, pointing to the millions of jobs it has created and the benefits it offers, like its free college tuition program. Well, a mammoth meatball was unveiled this week at a science museum in the Netherlands. Scientists from the Australian food startup VOW said they grew the meat in a lab after inserting DNA from a long extinct woolly mammoth into a living sheep cell. Now, VOW's founder said the experiment wasn't necessarily about bringing a 4,000-year-old protein to market. Instead, the company hopes it will get people talking about the future of lab-grown food. And Pepsi is getting a new look after 14 years. In a new release, the company's chief design officer said the new logo was created to connect future generations with the brand's heritage. Products with the new design will hit store shelves in North America sometime this fall, just in time for Pepsi's 125th anniversary. Wow. Well, museums are homes to our cultural treasures and stories of success, but an exhibit in New York City takes a different approach. The Museum of Failure showcases more than 100 failed products and ideas, including some you may remember. Bradley Blackburn explains why failure is now on display.
In Brooklyn, New York, it is a museum filled with flops.
This is why this is in the What Were They Thinking section.
There's an electrifying mask that promised to shock out wrinkles.
Several people told me they remember their mothers wearing this.
Cans of new Coke that made customers revolt.
It is designed for while you're working.
Even an office chair where you could work out while you sit, powered by the ab movements of hula dancing.
So imagine you're on Zoom calls or you're writing an email.
But exhibit organizer Johanna Gutman says spending time with these failures
It's rather violent.
is worth a spin.
It's not really about the products. It's about having that conversation about failure. What do we learn from failure? How does the fear of failure hold us back from innovating, trying new things, taking meaningful risks?
The items were all collected by a Swedish psychologist who studies innovation and says companies that embrace failure are often on the right track. That may be hard to believe when it comes to Bic pens designed for women or Gerber baby food sold to single adults. But some of these bad ideas helped lead to success.
People can feel comfortable trying different things, experimenting, and ultimately innovating.
They invite visitors to share their own failures, filling a wall, some of them really personal. But every failure is also an opportunity.
There's no true failure unless you don't learn from it. It's amazing how to see it all in one place, really.
Proof that mistakes, even Trump stakes, do happen.
No seatbelts and no directional blinkers.
But failure isn't final, and sometimes it deserves a place of honor. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Brooklyn, New York.
All right, well, the museum is open through at least mid-May in New York City, but organizers hope failure is successful at drawing crowds so they can extend it. That'd be a fun one to check out. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, you got wind advisories, red flag warnings for today. Winds gusting 40, 50 miles an hour. We're going to be partly cloudy to get our morning started. Winds start picking up this morning into the lower 60s by late morning. We're looking at an isolated shower or two this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. We stay breezy all the way through Saturday afternoon, by the way. Down to 57 tonight. A few more showers, maybe even a thunderstorm or two as we head into the overnight hours. Well, we've done it. We've made it more than halfway through the week now, and that sounds like a great reason to celebrate, and we're going to do just that with birthdays and anniversaries right after the break. But first, why don't we take a look at what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Tony Nicopol. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Natalie Morales sits down with actor Chris Pine to talk about the new film. It's called Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, and there may even be, I am told, I have it on good authority, some loot playing. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Time for some Thursday birthdays in the 4 states, and we begin in Chanute with Katie James Isles celebrating birthday number 1. I hope it's a great one, Katie. Happy birthday.
All right, Tristan Shears turning 16 years old this year, lives in Chapel, Florida, but originally from Frontenac, Kansas. Happy birthday from Wawa and all your family in Kansas and Missouri. This is a picture of him and his mama.
All right, Avery Harrison in Pittsburgh celebrating birthday number 17. Very happy birthday to you, Avery.
Mike Howe. Oh, I skipped it. I'm so sorry. Hillary Maloney. I was like, that is not Mike. Hillary is turning 31 years old this year. Looking great there, Hillary, in Carl Junction.
Now for Mike Howe celebrating a birthday in Neosho. A very happy birthday to you, Mike.
All right, now on to some anniversaries. Celebrating number 49 this year, Richard and Jane Cable from Anderson, Missouri. Congratulations to the Cables.
And we've got Rick and Darlene Turner celebrating anniversary number 50 this year over in Humboldt. Happy anniversary to the Turners.
And if you think 50 is impressive, how about 70 years of wedded bliss? Melvin and Prudence Huffman from Weir, Kansas. Congratulations. Happy 70th anniversary, and happy anniversary from all your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and all the family.
And our list continues with Zach Conway celebrating a birthday today in Columbus. Happy birthday, Zach.
And Zach Alford from Crestline, our neighbor, is turning 17.
All right, a very happy birthday and anniversary to all of you. And if you'd like to celebrate with us, Tanya knows what you need to do that.
Just send us an email. It's really simple to do. Birthdays with an S at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website, take time to sign up for that KOAM Birthday Club. It is easy to do, and you get great deals from local businesses. On top of that, you get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today. All right, we got a lot of weather to talk about and not a lot of time to do it. We've got wind advisories, southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma through 11. Then Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties, and southwest Missouri, wind advisories through 7. We have red flag warnings for these counties in southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma through 9 o'clock tonight. We're looking at winds gusting 40, 50 miles an hour as we go through the morning all the way through Saturday afternoon. A couple of strong storms possible later tonight across parts of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma. And even though that elevated risk is there, we're not looking at widespread severe weather, but a couple of strong storms possible as we head into tomorrow morning across the region as well. If we see any stronger storms later tonight, we're looking at maybe some small hail and some gusty winds as the primary threat with these storms. And those rain chances again this evening, they pick up a little bit, but we've got better chances as we head into tomorrow morning. Just a quick look. Beautiful sunrise out there, some clouds, 54 degrees in Joplin, quite mild. The wind's still calm for the time being, but that is going to change. We've got 52 Pittsburgh Parsons, 50 Chitopa, 53 Miami, 52 Neosho, and 53 in Carthage. And as we get our day started, winds start picking up about 9 o'clock. Very gusty into the lower 60s, partly cloudy by late morning. More clouds this afternoon, a stray shower or two possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, temperatures mid to upper 60s. And as we head into this evening, down to 57, still breezy, and we'll see an increase in those showers and thunderstorms. Well, coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, we've got a seasonal feel-good story. We're not talking about spring or even baseball season. For one state, this marks the beginning of eaglet season. We get a bird's eye view right from the nest of their very first eaglet. We've got all that and more coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri pledges its support for a Joplin family as they prepare for a journey to Japan for the Strider World Cup race. 3-year-old Silas McCain has been selected as one of 10 representatives for Team USA in his age category. However, the family must raise $7,500 to cover travel and lodging expenses. Organizations calling on the community to make donations through the family's GoFundMe account. And the McDonald County Schools give its students a lesson on health. The district hosted its spring wellness fair. And the students learned how to make smoothies, practice yoga poses, and browsed a farmer's market for fresh produce. Officials say it's all in an effort to teach kids how to make healthier choices in life. And Freeman Health System's Ozark Center hosts a discussion on the importance of staying connected while rehabbing from a drug addiction. Center hosts a monthly series focusing on family, friends, and loved ones impacted by substance abuse. It aims to help people in recovery have the support and communication they need from their loved ones. And the city of Goodman, Missouri wants to make some energy changes at its wastewater plant. The mayor and employees of the plant want to change its energy source to solar panels. Mayor J.R. Fisher says the overall price for the panel project is $179,000. He says it will save the city more than $700,000 over its lifetime. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
As you head out the door, breezy, wind gusts 40, 50 miles an hour. Could be a stray shower or two this afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy, highs in the mid to upper 60s. We head into this evening, still breezy. Could see more showers and a few thunderstorms as we head into the overnight hours, down to 57. Still watching the possibility of a couple of strong storms tomorrow morning, 75. A little cooler Saturday, warmer on Sunday. More thunderstorm chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and temperatures near 80 on Monday and Tuesday.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making breakfast in a mug, and we're not talking about coffee in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
That honestly can be breakfast in a mug. And of course, your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Chris Pine talking to Natalie Morales about his new Dungeons and Dragons movie. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
That's right, or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, we've got a pair of interviews as Amanda Flint from the Neosho Christian School stops by to tell us about a banquet with good food for a good cause.
Plus, Lori Horton from the Pittsburgh Lions Club will tell us all about their upcoming bake sale and how you can participate. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.